where it was vandalized, I didn't check it out. I have no clue. But for him to say that I take time out my life to go all the way to Delaware to go and vandalize the school. No, when I go to Delaware, it's to see you.
So if you have been paying attention to this whole Umar Johnson saga, you might be familiar with Don. He is Umar Johnson, ex-employee. He said Umar Johnson owes him $3,000 for work he did on the property in Wilmington, Delaware. The last I heard on this matter was that Don filed a lawsuit and the sheriff was trying to serve Umar Johnson. While Don is back on the scene, he is now going by the name Don M, the FDMG boogeyman. And he said that Umar Johnson was finally served on September 10th.
If you don't know, recently Umar did an interview where he said the reason FDMG is taking so long to get open is because black contractors have scammed him out of money. So I thought this was a perfect time to flash back to the time he was sued because he had somebody work on the school and he didn't want to pay them. This is just another way to show how much of a liar this man is, in my opinion. So we're going to look at two videos. This is from YouTube channel Make a Change. Both of them are. But this one was posted October 20th of 2021. So we're going to get into this and show you once again why you shouldn't believe anything Umar says. All right, let's go.
If we look at the docket on the courtconnect.courts.delaware.gov website, we can confirm that Umar Johnson has been served. Personal service return as to Umar Johnson on 9/10/2021. In the video I did titled My Message to Don, Umar Johnson, former employee, I said if I solely relied on what Don said and the text message communication between him and Umar Johnson, he is owed money. In a recent live stream, Don said a few things I want to discuss. I would first like to say I am not a lawyer and this is not legal advice.
Me either.
One of the things that Don said is that someone offered him $8,000.
You didn't know about the $8,000 they offered me, right?
Nah, I hadn't heard nothing about that.
See, that's what I'm saying. But nobody on the good guys gonna do lives on that because you know what I'm saying. That was I don't know why they did.
I mean, did other people in the good guys know about it?
That shit was on. Everybody was on the chat. Everybody was on the live. That shit was lit. That's what I'm saying. Where was you at that time? That shit was lit. It was there. They was saying, don't take it. They was like, don't take that. Don't take that. I was like, and once I saw them say don't take it, I was like, fuck it. I ain't fuck with that. Nah, fuck out of here. I was already saying fuck out of here, but then they was like, how much? I'm like $8. I was like, damn, I need that.
Okay, I was about to ask you that. In hindsight, do you feel like you should have just took the AGs and been done with it? Or?
No, I'm not no cheap nigga. I'm a king. That nigga violated me. I already told y'all, he violated me. That 8,000 was a bribe out. And then once I understood what it was, I was like, nah, okay. So if y'all can do 8,000, I know I can triple that shit in the courts.
Okay, I don't know the whole situation behind this $8,000 that was offered to Don, but here is what I will say. If this was offered to Don as a settlement for the $3,000 he's claiming that Umar Johnson owes him, he should have accepted it, and here is why. Yeah. If we look at the docket, we see the case type is breach of contract.
I believe.
Before he get into that, yeah, that's what I'm not understanding. If it was $3,000 you suing for, but they offer you $8,000 to not go to court or nothing like that, I'm looking at it two ways. Like, why would Umar offer him $8,000? Because court, we can look up and see what happens in court, okay, and we have proof. Like, but to give him $8,000, it would probably stop him from talking about it, and there's no proof that we can look at and call out Umar for his lies, you know. So you know, 8,000 was more than double what he owed this man, but it would keep everything out of the public eye, and that is worth more than that extra 5,000. It is.
That they won't have a problem putting a lien on that building if he don't respond. I believe. Why? Because like I say, I fill out the paperwork and I believe I got the side of the courts. They did it. They pulled off a miracle and got him served. And that within 2 days after I went back to court, I was like, "Yo, what's up? Why my paperwork not done?" And 2 days they got that served on that Friday. So I already know that they won't have a problem putting a lien on that abandoned building. That someone would love to be a school, but it would never be his school. And so a person might say, "Well, how are you going to put a lien when you don't even he's not oh he don't owe you that much money?" Well, with pain and suffering and all that other stuff, and like they say, punitive damage and all that other stuff.
In the audio you just heard, Don mentioned punitive damages. But here is the thing. Punitive damages are generally not awarded at all in breach of contract cases. The same goes for pain and suffering and emotional distress. Those are generally not applicable in a breach of contract case. Now, if he said no to the $8,000 and proceeded with the lawsuit for $3,000 as a matter of principle and to get his day in court with Umar Johnson, I can understand that. But from some of the things that Don said in the past and what he's saying now, he feels this situation is going to yield him a windfall. Don also said the max is 15.
So I watched one of your lives, and you said that the settlement was up to 15K now.
Yeah, because the court that the court that I went through, so it's the maximum is 15. So the max I can get out there is 15G.
What he's referring to is $15,000, which is the max you can ask for in a small claims case that is filed in Delaware.
Yeah, that's not what he could get. Like that's not the max he could get. He's not gonna get 15,000, or it's his past. So, but you know what I'm saying. That's just the max you can sue for in small claims court. So if it's over 15,000, if you're asking for over 15,000, you got to go to a different court. Yeah, okay.
Based on the docket report, we know it's a breach of contract case, but I have not seen the paperwork laying out Don's claims. However, based on what he's saying, he seems to be asking for the max compensation. So if Umar Johnson answers the lawsuit, the burden of proof is going to be on Don to show how Umar Johnson owes him $15,000. Because based on the text communication between him and Umar, he is owed $3,000. Now, if Umar Johnson doesn't answer the lawsuit, Don will get a default judgment. Another thing Don mentioned is putting a lien on the property if he prevails in this lawsuit and Umar Johnson doesn't pay. I think he might have an issue putting a lien on the property. If we look at the docket report once again, we see Don Murray versus Umar Johnson. This property is technically not owned by Umar. The property is owned by Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey, RGB International Leadership Academy, Incorporated. Since a corporation is a separate entity, I think in order to put a lien on the property, he would have to get a judgment against FDMG RGB International Leadership Academy Incorporation. But based on the docket report, he is suing Umar and not FDMG Academy. But what do I know? I am not a lawyer, and this is not legal advice. I am just providing commentary on the situation. Here is what we do know. It doesn't look like there is going to be a default judgment because on October 15, Umar Johnson answered the lawsuit. So it's going to be interesting to see how this whole thing plays out.
Now, this is the second video on this lawsuit. Again, it's by Make a Change channel, but this video was posted December 1st, 2022. So we're going to get into this one. And then after this, we're going to look and see how the case ended. But let's get going.
Back in December of 2021, Umar Johnson posted this image on his IG with the caption, "If you see this man, please call police. Wanted by law enforcement for FDMG vandalism." He also posted this picture stating that Donald Murray vandalized the FDMG campus last night. He indicated the reason he did this was because he lost the court case and was looking for street justice. So who is Donald and what court case is Umar Johnson referring to? Donald, who goes by the name Don, did some work at the property Umar Johnson purchased in Wilmington. Don said Umar Johnson agreed to pay him $3,000. However, Umar kept changing the terms of their agreement. Text messages between Don and Umar were shown during a live stream that substantiated Don's claim. So Don decided to sue Umar Johnson in order to get his money. Don also stated in a video that he did not vandalize the property.
In regards to Umar Johnson, for him to bring me up and say I didn't even see the video. But someone called me up and let me know that he made a video and said that I vandalized the school. That someone texted me, someone emailed, and a lot of people said that he said that I vandalized the school. And he's saying all this after he's saying that I lost the court case with him. I didn't lose the court case. We still got up to like next week to be dealing with it.
This is one thing that like amazes me. Well, two things. One is Umar will lie about stuff that can easily be proven that it's a lie. Like, why would you lie and say the court case is done when that can easily be proven? You know, people are going to check. We don't take your word for nothing, Umar. We are going to check. Why would you lie about stuff that we can easily find evidence on? That's the one thing that amazes me. Two is that his supporters still support him after all these lies. This man is a liar, okay? He's not going to teach your boy, okay? The boy you plan to have 5 years from now. You're going to have your son 5 years from now, all right? And he might be at the right age for the school when it opens. He is not going to teach him, okay? This man is a liar. Well, let's keep going.
So for him to come out of nowhere talk about he lost the court case and he vandalized the school, and I have an order of protection against him, folks. For him to come out there and say, Don, someone said that he said my full name. I vandalized the school. For me to take time out to do some old little boy kid shit to put, I don't even know what was put on the building. I don't know what was done on the building. I don't even know what vandalism, where it was vandalized. I didn't check it out. I have no clue. But for him to say that I take time out my life to go all the way to Delaware to go and vandalize the school. No, when I go to Delaware, it's to see you.
Umar Johnson's claim that Don lost the case is a lie. This case is ongoing. There have been some hiccups, but the case is active. And we can look this up by going to the courtconnect.courts.delaware.gov website. I will also put a link to this in the video's description. We see the case description, Donald Murray versus Umar Johnson. Filing date, April 6, 2021. And it's for breach of contract. Service by the sheriff was requested on April 22nd of 2021. On May 7th, the service was returned non-S. Based on the notes, they tried to serve Umar Johnson at the property in Delaware, but he wasn't there. He was eventually served on 9/10 of 2021. On October 11th of 2021, Don filed a motion for a default judgment. Umar Johnson filed an answer to the lawsuit on October 15th of 21. There were some issues with the court getting the notice to Umar because they were sending them to the address listed for the property in Delaware.
Right.
And the notices were being returned to the court.
Yeah, it's just like when he said the city of Wilmington was putting his buildings up for auction and he didn't know about it. They can't get in touch with you. They put notices on the building because nobody knows how to get in touch with you. That's why. And you make it hard for them to get in touch with you on purpose. And then want to blame them when something happens.
Umar Johnson eventually communicated to the court that his mailing address is the P.O. Box in Delaware. There was a civil motion hearing on January 14th via Zoom, and during that hearing, Don did something that later almost jeopardized his case. On January 21st, 2022, Don's motion for a default judgment was denied, and the case was set to go to trial on July 6th of this year. However, on June 24th, there was an order, because during the civil motion on January 14th, Don made a recording of the hearing and posted it online, which was a violation of the court's policy. Therefore, an in-person hearing was set for July 22nd for Don to explain why he should not be held in contempt of court for violating the court policy by recording a court proceeding and posting it in a public domain. Due to this, the trial had to be rescheduled. The hearing was held and Don was found to be in contempt of court, and all recordings of the January 14 hearing that were posted online had to be removed within 30 days or his case would be dismissed. A trial was rescheduled, which brings us to today, November 30th. However, on November 29th, the day before the trial, Umar Johnson requested a continuance on the basis that Umar Johnson, is ill and would not be able to attend.
Yeah, Umar is trying to. Umar didn't want this to go to court, but he's trying to delay and delay and delay, thinking Don is just going to drop out at some point. But it didn't happen. Don was not going to let this thing go. But let's keep going.
The court granted the continuance, so this is to be continued. So as you can see, Don did not lose the case. The case is ongoing, and Umar Johnson was just lying again.
So yeah, I went and pulled up the court case as right here, and as you can see on the bottom here, right here, status is a judgment. So there's a lot of stuff that happened, and as we scroll down here, I think Umar wanted to delay this thing as long as he could to avoid his consequences. But we get down here to what is it, September 11th of 2023. As you can see right here, proposed findings of fact and recommendations for order awarding damages. Conclusion: for the above reasons, judgment is entered against Umar Johnson in the amount of $3,000 plus post-judgment interest at the legal rate it is so ordered on this 11th day of September. So he lost. He claimed the man didn't do no work. He claimed the man vandalized the property. All lies to avoid paying him. Now, we have seen Umar be offered contractors, people who do floors and HVAC works and painting and all that, offered to do the work for free for Umar, black people, and he turned them down. Why? I'm gonna tell you why. Because he's never going to open this school. He doesn't want to open the school. Because once the school opens, the donations stop. Because at that point, he should have kids coming in paying tuition. There's nothing to donate for. There's nothing to donate to. So he doesn't want to open the school. He just wants your money. And people continue to give him their hard-earned money. Yes, he wants to make it look like he's doing it, and then he wants to make it look like this person is causing the delay, and the city of Wilmington is causing a delay, and they froze my bank accounts, and all this other stuff he making up. He just gonna make up excuses until y'all stop giving him money. But he doesn't want to open this school. He really doesn't. This man travels across the world. Do you think he wants to stop that and start going to an office every day in a school building? He doesn't. There are a lot of other brothers out there actually helping kids, actually helping boys, being a mentor to them. We saw in the last video I did, a young black boy walked up on him doing his live stream. And he said nothing to the boy except for Black Queens Forever, Snow Bunnies Never. and then basically told the kid to get lost. But you think he gonna teach your son? Okay. I appreciate y'all watching this little flashback in time with me. If you enjoyed it, give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I'll catch you on the next one.
You don't find that suspicious?